What does the sport mean to you?
Well, it means a lot to me. It was such a big part of my life. I, at an early age, I told you about Harry Hawk, and Harry, I told him this on the phone. I'll never forget it. When I was a little kid, 8 or 9 years old, he said, "Tom, you always win with class, always lose with class. You always shake your opponent's hand. You never gloat. You never show a sour face." And when I was in high school, Jack Dunworth and Jeff came to me because I was getting a lot of ink, especially in 9th and 10th grade. I was doing really well. And they came to me and they said, "When you talk to those guys from the Detroit News or the Free Press, you always be positive, always say good things. Don't be negative about any of your opponents." And those guys taught me how to always, shake hands, be respectful. And I've noticed that with most swimmers, I never see any I'm sure it goes on, and I don't see any bad behavior, and still don't when I watch the Olympics or the NCAA championships on TV. It just seems to be just a good brotherhood and sisterhood of good people. And it taught me a lot of discipline. It taught me a ton of discipline. And actually my working jobs, the first job I got out of school was related to swimming. And my second job, after I worked in Iowa for a couple of years for a guy who was involved in swimming. And then I came back to Dearborn and worked there in the automobile industry. And then I ended up here in Florida, and the fellow I met in Florida was through Jeff Longstreth, my swimming coach. So it's meant a lot to me, and it's meant a lot to our entire family. Hard to explain, but just the experience. I'm 8, 9, 10 years old. I'm going to Cleveland. I'm going to Toledo. Not that that's any big deal, but Toledo Aquatic Club had some great swimmers. Cincinnati, Dayton, Chicago, Louisville. I've been to California many, many times swimming, and state of Washington. Just a wonderful experience. I'd recommend it for anybody. But you got to be ready you got to be ready for the grind. It's a grind, and you got to like the grind. And that's I got such a kick out of Ian, Mull, and Clay, and John, because I can tell those guys are grinders, and they seem like it.
What was your best characteristic as a swimmer? Was it the grinding? Was it the work ethic? What was your best characteristic as a swimmer? What made you successful?
I think it was my work ethic. I worked really hard, and I've had people that never knew about my swimming career, and they, I told them a little bit about it, and they said, why were you such a good swimmer? And I always tell them, I never let my parents be late. I never let my parents be late for practice. When they came home from work, and when I was, age grouper, and even in junior high, and was swimming at Patton, I had my lock, I had my suit, and I had my towel. No goggles, but I had all 3 of those things, and I was ready to go. And I was always there. Even at Michigan, I was never late for practice. I was always there 10 minutes early, and same in high school. And in high school, we were so focused on winning the state championship. And then my senior year became more about, God, we can do something maybe on a national level. So I was there all the time. One thing that I'll never forget, I swam poorly out at Washington State after my junior year. And Paul and I came back, and we decided, we're going to really buckle down and start training, Paul Foster and I, and Norman too. And we got ready for our training. And one night we decided, and the other thing that happened, at times the swimmers were running the practices. I can't explain it, but we were so into it and not cutting corners and doing things. We made things easy for the coaches because we were coachable. We would do what they said. But one night we were talking, and we were getting geared up for the summer, and Paul or one of us came up with the idea, let's go 2400s tomorrow morning. So we had to get up early and get in there 15 minutes. And I can't remember the interval, but we're swimming at Dearborn High still. This is in April or May, 1st of May. So we had to get in 15 minutes early. Jeff gets there. Jeff's going to get there early and get in. And I overslept. And I missed the first 2 400s. And I was afraid of 2 things. I was afraid of Paul and Norman riding me, saying, you said you would be here and you didn't hear, because they would give it to me. Or I was afraid of they were going to feel bad that I didn't go through the grind with them. but I had this guilt coming in, and I still talk to him about it today, you know, that I felt like a piker because I didn't do it on purpose. I really overslept.